Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dig into this really powerful idea for navigating, well, our own inner turmoil. It's drawn from a discourse called Escaping the Maze of Afflictions. All right, let's just jump right in with a question that I think hits home for a lot of us. You ever feel, I don't know, completely trapped by your own thoughts? Like you're in this spiral, and the more you fight it, the more stuck you get. You know that feeling? It actually has a name. And just knowing the name is kind of the first step to getting out of it. It's called the Maze of Afflictions. So, what is that exactly? Well, you can think of it like this. It's a mental state where, honestly, you're your own worst enemy. You're trapped in this maze that you built. It's like being in this super thick fog. You can't see the way out, and you just end up running around in circles. And yeah, when you're in that fog, your judgment is just shot. Every move you make seems to pull you deeper in. So that begs the question, right? What are we even using to build these walls? How does this maze get built in the first place? Well, it turns out one of the main building blocks we use, and we often don't even realize we're doing it, is arrogance. And the source material lays this out so clearly. It paints a picture of two different mindsets. You've got the arrogant person, right? They need to see themselves as high, so they're constantly looking down on others to feel superior. But then you have someone who's truly accomplished. They don't need to do that. Their sense of value comes from within, not from comparing themselves to other people. And wow, there's this really raw personal story in the source that just hits this home. The teacher sharing this, he explains how in one moment, just one moment of hurt pride over a class assignment, he completely turned on his most respected mentor. He basically threw him, in his own mind, down to the 18th level of hell. He built his own maze of resentment, all because his ego got a little bruised. Okay, so once we're in the maze, we don't just hang out, right? No, we start running. We get caught in this vicious cycle that just keeps feeding itself, digging us deeper and deeper into that fog. And this is how that loop works. It's a real trap. First, there's some confusion, right? Some misunderstanding. That confusion makes you act fast, you get hasty, and of course, that haste just creates more chaos and turmoil. And what does the chaos do? It throws you right back into an even deeper state of confusion. And the cycle just starts all over again. I mean, the source just drills this pattern down with this really powerful line: the more confused, the more rushed. The more rushed, the more chaotic. The more chaotic, the more confused. You can almost feel the spiral tightening, right? The walls of the maze just feel like they're getting higher and more solid with every lap you take. So, okay, if we're stuck in this crazy loop, if we're literally building the prison as we're running through it, how on earth do you get out? Well, the way out is actually a direct counterattack on that cycle. It's a super simple 3-step process. The first thing you do, just stop, halt, everything. Then, step 2, find calm. Get absolutely still and quiet your mind. And only then, only after you're calm, can you move to step 3 and start to analyze what's really going on. But, and this is a huge but, a really critical warning comes with that last step. If you try to analyze things while you're still agitated, while you're still in that chaos, you're not actually going to find clarity. You're just going to use your smarts to build a stronger case for why you're right to be angry or confused. You'll just end up making the maze walls thicker. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle. If you want to stay out of the maze for good, you have to realize that the architect, the thing building it, it isn't something out there. The enemy is within. And the source material has this brilliant way of framing this. It actually personifies these internal states. They're not just feelings. They're described as a resentful thief that comes in and literally steals your peace and happiness, or as a venomous snake whose poison just clouds your mind and leads you to your own destruction. It's pretty intense when you think about it like that. And that right there is the core idea, the big takeaway. Your anger, your resentment, your confusion, that stuff is not you. It's not part of your identity. It's a destructive force, a separate thing that you can and you absolutely must learn to separate yourself from. So that leaves us with something to think about, right? Take a second and ask yourself, what maze are you navigating right now? We all have them. And more importantly, what would be your very first step toward stillness? What would it look like to just halt?